Wow, welcome everyone to our very first YouTube show of the Chronicles of the Revolutionary Nerd. I am Cynthia McDonald.
And I am andrebatts.
Andre, how you doing?
You're wonderful in yourself, Sam.
Oh man, I am splendiferous. How about that?
I like the way that sounds.
Very good, very good. Andre, oh my goodness. So you just reminded me that it's been a minute since we actually did this. And and actually, I think it would probably be a good idea to kind of explain to our audience our origin story.
Well, we started, early on back in 2000, what, I think it was 17,
I
maybe
think
late
so.
2017.
Hmm.
We decided we were going to start doing the Motor City Black Age of Comics blog talk radio. We called it the Chronicles of the Revolutionary Nerd. We had been doing that for a while. We had did a total of 29 episodes. And then after our 29th episode, I guess we got into doing other things or whatever. Kind of got a little distracted, how things just pop up. But now that we have YouTube and podcasts, this makes things a whole lot better now because now we're reaching a whole new dynamic with this right here.
Facts, very much so. Yeah, and that was like I guess like when we first did like the Chronicles of the Revolutionary Nerd back in 17 and then went to into 18. Um that was like my first exposure of actually, doing like podcasting. And
Okay.
then yeah, and I know like, I think I ended up going to I went back to school because my job decided not to be my job no more. And you was working like child, a whole bunch of stuff happened, but
Yeah,
it's okay.
it is. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is okay. And I told you I was dying to
You're
do
getting
this.
back started, right?
I was dying to do this only because uh because like I'm on other YouTube shows. I guest host on the nonprofits, which is a an ACA show. ACA is stands for the Atheist Community of Austin,
Hmm.
which is a more of a show that kind of takes like news and politics and like talks about different things from a skeptical point of view, a critical thinking point of view. Also, there is the other show that I do, the 13%, which will be coming back very soon,
Hmm.
that talks about socioeconomic and political position and politics adjacent to those who come from chattel slavery, and and I sometimes guest on other stuff and panels and things of that nature, and everything that I talk about, even though like sometimes I can kind of get like a little cheeky in my commentary,
Hmm.
most of the part of it is like very serious, and and it's kind of nice to get into other stuff that like I like to talk about, like I like science fiction, I like comics, I like art, I like pop culture, I like music. I mean there's so much stuff that
Hmm.
I wanted to kind of like talk about and not necessarily be like, oh, we all gonna die, but whatever. Which is true, we will, but
Right.
that's
It's more to the
necessary.
world than that, that's for sure.
Right. What they say, like, the only two things that's like constant in life is death and taxes. Something to that
Yeah.
effect.
So they
So,
say.
so that's what they say. And we still don't know who they are, but that's cool.
Yeah.
So but with that said, so yeah, that's our origin story. And so now we here. And hopefully this is going to be one of many shows that we do.
Yes, we're back.
We are
And
back.
we'll be leading back up into the Motor City Black Age of Comics convention. Hopefully we're able to have a live event. Of course, we had to put it off this past year because of the pandemic, or as I
Right.
call it, the pandemic, or whatever. Once it
Why
popped
everybody
up,
keep calling
you
about
know,
a pandemic, Lord?
we we have to get into that. But needless to say, I call it that for several reasons. But needless
And
to say, that's where we are right now. And it may end up being a virtual event. I don't know. It seems
Mm,
like several individuals are doing virtual shows. I don't see the financial gain there for different individuals that are doing it, but I think everything helps because it's a start.
mm-hmm.
Because you never know, we may end up having to do all virtual events for a good while. You never know, and it may end up being lucrative for everyone. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I know that there's like a lot of platforms that have like kind of shifted in a more virtual space because of the
Mhm.
pandemic. I will not call it a pandemic. Viruses
Okay.
are not planned. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, I'm
but
not talking
how
about
they affect, but
the
how they
actual virus being planned. I'm just talking about the whole operation outside of the actual virus.
Oh, well, if you're referring to how it affected our group, that's just because everything affects us badly. But that's
Exactly.
another show. That's a whole
Right.
nother show. Check out the 13% when we talk about all
Right.
that. Anyway, oh my goodness. But man, yeah. But I don't, one of the things that I always appreciated about, going to the Motor City Black Age of Comic Con is because you get to travel and go see all these independent creators and artists and authors and even like performances and and all that other stuff. Like it's nothing like being actually in the physical
Mhm.
space.
Yeah.
And you see, and like you had like different cosplayers come in, and also the panel discussions are
Yes.
very informative. I definitely enjoyed a lot of them. In a
Hmm.
matter of fact, like I think the last time that I was up there, I got a chance to even do a Facebook Live where
Right. Yes, you
I
did.
think I want to say that I did Keith Young's talk.
Keith, yeah, yes.
Yep,
Hmm.
I did his talk. I enjoyed that one very much, and even the one like I think that was also around the time period that Black Panther came out, and you guys did a discussion
Yes.
around that particular
Mhm.
topic, and even like the development of like even how some creators use
Right.
mythology from different cultures in order to help them create their
Hmm.
story arcs. So all
Right.
that was very interesting, and
Well,
hopefully we get back into it really, really soon.
oh, we will. We will.
Yes. Well, I got vaccinated. I know that's not everybody's jam,
Yeah,
but I did get
I will be
vaccinated.
soon. I don't know when, but I'll be getting vaccinated soon, I'm sure.
Cool. Very cool. Yes, yes. So yeah, I tell everybody, I said, listen, I'm not going to like, browbeat anybody concerning like the vaccine, but
Mm.
I'm just want to let you know I have both shots and I'm not dead.
Right.
And and
I hope
I
not.
no, no, I'm
Mm,
very much
that'd be
alive. Last time I checked, right. I'm not a ghost. I'm alive and I'm fine. So I usually just tell people like if you are looking into getting any of the vaccines. As a matter of fact, I just read that the Johnson and Johnson one was
Mm.
just approved. So and I believe that one is like around 85%. It's been reported to be 85% effective, and that's
Oh,
only
okay.
one. And that's only one
Originally,
shot.
originally they said it was 66%, but I guess they changed it now.
I think that was the AstraZeneca one, if I'm not
No, it's not
mistaken.
Johnson.
That's Johnson and Johnson? Okay. Well,
Mhm.
there's a lot of different reports out there.
Right, it
However,
is.
it's a lot of different reports. I would say definitely go to more trusted sources in order for you to get your information. But I would tell folks when it comes to doing the vaccine itself, talk to your doctor. Make sure that you are making an informed decision to see if this is something that is right for you to do. And if you
Mhm.
and your doctor say it's cool, get it done.
Right.
Right. So, what we talking about today?
Oh man, there's so much that we can talk about, because 3 years have passed. And I think the last time we were really on the blog, well, we actually communicated, we talked with one another. I don't think we had a guest that night. We
Mhm.
talked about the DC movies. Matter of fact, Wonder Woman, it just came out. And I think Justice League, their trailer had dropped. And we really got into Wonder Woman, but I think you kind of like really was dissing Wonder Woman initial movie, you didn't too much care for it. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
you said it was
So,
too soon for you. And I
Oh,
told
well, go ahead, fam. Go ahead. You gonna
I
blast
thought
me.
it was
Talk.
good. I thought it was great. I thought it was the best DC movie that was done outside of like Batman. You
Hmm.
know, all the Batman stories. Of course, I liked Superman, the Man of Steel. That was one of my favorite Superman movies.
Hmm.
But I thought that they did an excellent job with Wonder Woman, the first one.
Yes.
The second one, on the other hand,
Well, we gonna get to that.
yeah,
So this particular talk is about the two Wonder Womans, Wonder Woman 2017 versus Wonder Woman 1984. So you want to revisit what we actually discussed
yeah, I would like
back
to.
in 2018?
I would like to revisit that.
Okay.
Let's see the contrasting differences or whatever.
Let us do that.
Trailer for Justice League as well.
Oh,
That looks
okay,
like it's
okay.
going to be pretty good. Um, I was I don't I was going to ask you this. What did you get a chance to see Wonder Woman?
Yes, I did. I did see Wonder Woman,
So
and
what did you
actually,
think of it?
I thought it's a pretty good movie. It was, as far as I'm concerned, it's the best product that DC has put out as far as their superheroes are concerned.
I
Outside of
agree.
the Watchmen, I think the
I
Watchmen
agree.
was an excellent story. You
Mhm.
know, I'm not gonna take anything from the Man of Steel because I really appreciated that movie and Batman
Mhm.
Begins. Those were two of my favorite as far as the DC Universe movies. But Wonder Woman
Mhm.
just topped all of them. You
Yeah,
know,
I have to agree. I was a little. At first, I was like, "Gosh, this is moving slow," and
you're
then, I
right.
mean, but then, like after stuff got, it picked up, and I really appreciate the action scenes. I thought that Gal Gadot did a really good job with that. So yeah,
Hmm.
but since
Well,
this is supposed to be blurred talk, go ahead.
well, they start from the had to give her some type of origins going on. Most origin
This is
stories
true.
they're usually slow.
Yes, most origin stories are a little bit slow. So
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
okay? So this is so like so since we know that we were actually going to talk about this again, I went ahead and rewatched.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I even bought that movie on Prime, and because like I was thinking, because like I think like the price difference was like $3. I said, well, I might as well just go ahead and own it, you know.
Hmm.
And so like so since it wasn't that bad, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and watch it. And I kind of changed my mind a little bit about the beginning. I changed my mind a little, and the reason being is because at first I was like, when I first watched it, I was like, okay, where are we gonna get to this stuff, right? But one of the things I think what kind of was the spoiler for me specifically was that I have watched live not I'm sorry, the animated origin
Uh,
story of Wonder Woman. And that one had a way faster pace. It would I I felt like the pacing was much more refined, and I think it was because like when it comes to like an animated film versus like a live action film, there's more that you can kind of do with it. Like I appreciated like the beginning sequence was when you saw the Amazons like fighting with the guy with men who were like influenced by Aries. I
mhm.
appreciated even seeing one Diana's mom like fashion her out of sand and clay, and Zeus kind of like uh zapping her and she comes to life, and I kind of felt like when she was just like a little girl and like her mom just telling her the story, I was just like and I think that's the reason why I was like, this is too slow. But like you actually saw like action fairly early in Wonder Woman. Like it,
Yes, she did.
in 2017, you saw action like fairly early. Like you saw the Amazons like training and doing some really sick
Mm-hmm.
acrobatic moves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
right.
all the little kids do and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And then, and then like being secretly trained in the background, and her mom was like, I don't want her trained, but then she's like, but you know that she need to be trained for the stuff that she gonna have to face her, and how she gonna defend herself, and which made total sense. And then she's like, all right, but if you're gonna train her hard, right? And I think
Mm-hmm.
that when I first watched it, I felt like the dialogue in the beginning between help me out with the names. I should have known that. The names of
Which
Apollo, I think I want to say Apolica or Apotheca. One Diana's mom.
uh,
Apollo.
okay.
When the dialogue between Apollo and the general, I want to say her name is Persephone. That's what I want to say, but don't quote me. And I'm pretty sure that somebody is
Yeah,
going to correct me in the comments and
yeah,
below,
yeah, it's
which
just
is
a bunch of
fine.
Greek names, so it's about some of those Greek names, unless it's Zeus, Apollo, what's the what's the god
Aries
of the
and uh, uh, uh,
uh,
who's the
someone in the water?
Poseidon and all them stuff. Yeah,
Right, right.
Poseidon and someone from the water. So yeah, but regardless, like so, I the it was the dialogue that just seemed kind of it seemed just a little one note to me. Like I kind of felt like at the beginning, like their dialogue with one another was kind of
Mm,
forced, and I think that's
okay.
one of the
Right.
reasons why I had some issues with it. But when I rewatched it, I was really thinking to
Mm,
myself,
okay.
what what could have happened differently,
Mhm.
and as we like went along with the movie, like I just felt like the scenes themselves were I mean they were stellar. Like, I like the comedy pacing between
Right.
the different characters when she like remember when she like went into the bar after Steve Trevor said, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
we're about to, yes, we're going and I'm taking you to the front, but we need help. And so like when she
Yeah.
met the different characters of the guys that helped them with their mission,
Mhm.
and like in the witty banter, or shall I say the unwitty banter that actually went back and forth between them, I really appreciated that. And the scene where she was in no man's land and getting shot at by all those Germans, like
Yeah.
that was
That was
like
really good scene there.
that was amazing. And I mean, I think that my favorite action scene of that whole sequence, I mean, that whole sequence was just unreal. But remember when they actually took like a piece of metal, like it was Steve Trevor and like a few other of the squad that came with him, and and put the metal on their backs, and then he's like when I say lift, and then he's like, Diana, this way, and then like she ran, and then
Mhm.
like pushed her up, and then like she just like wailed into the tower of the church. First off, I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
breaking down a church, but
There you go.
but but just like this, how she just like owned that sniper, just like
Yeah,
from
she
that. I
did.
mean, I
Yeah, they
thought saw
wouldn't be
that.
so amazed about it.
Yeah,
To be
yeah.
do all that, I don't think. Not at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, I was just standing back and was like, "Whoa, that was great." But and so like, but overall, I would definitely say that yes, the 2017 Wonder Woman movie I felt was pretty well made. I felt that Gal Gadot did a very good job. I also
Yeah.
enjoyed
Oh
Chris
yeah.
Pine
Yeah.
as Steve Trevor.
Ini- Initially, I wasn't sold on her being Wonder Woman.
Mm,
I wasn't sold on it because I didn't feel that she was possessed that medium, that Amazonian look. You know, and
Really?
I didn't think she was thick enough. I guess I could say that.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's
being
fine.
or more muscular. You know, I thought she could have been
Okay.
a little bit more muscular.
Mhm.
And I didn't see that. Uh, but the question I want to ask you though is, which version of the animated Wonder Woman did you see as far as the origin story? You
Oh,
know,
which
they got like several of them out there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Let me see. I knew you was gonna actually put me on the
You
spot
knew that?
by
Yeah,
that.
you knew I was going to ask
And yeah, and I should have been prepared, but was I? No. And
you.
I think it was the 2000. Oh yeah, it was just the 2009 animated
Okay.
one that's just called Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Okay. You know, DC, you know, they make the best animated movies
They
versus Marvel.
do. They do.
So I
Oh, I
could see
know.
that being, you
Mhm,
know, and you know, as far as the pace is concerned, you know, the pace you can take it all kind of directions when you're doing anime, you know, or
mhm.
animation. Whereas with the live action, it's only so much they can do
Right.
as far as pace is concerned, unless they're using a whole lot of CGI in there. And then
Mhm,
at that point, you know, your movie is convoluted with a lot of basically it's an animated movie when you use too
mm,
much CGI. And that takes away from us being able to relate to the reality of the character. But
sure.
going back though, I really wasn't sold on her being Wonder Woman. But after seeing it, I was really sold after that.
Mm,
I was really sold
mhm.
until we got into 1984.
Okay. Well, before we get into 1984, I want to, first off, I was really excited about 1984, and this is the reason why. I'm going to play this.
My life hasn't been what you probably think it has. We all have our struggles.
Have you ever been in love?
A long, long time ago. You?
So many times. Yeah, all the time.
Welcome to the future. Life is good, but it can be better. And why shouldn't it be? All you need is to want it. Think about finally having everything you always wanted.
I can save today, but you can save the world.
Steve.
Diane. Now, I take what I want in return. Everyone must see. The world needs you. You know what you need to do.
Nothing good is born from lies. And greatness is not what you think. It's all art. That's just a trash can.
It's just a trash can. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I was sold on that song by New Order, Blue Monday.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's back in my era there. I graduated in '84.
See, and okay. I didn't quite graduate in '84, but I was very,
That's how
but
they
I
talk.
Yeah, but I was very much so alive and well in interacting with 1984. But you
Right.
know, like the okay, so like I was so excited about this about the trailer. I was like, damn, this movie is gonna be fire, right? I
So we
mean,
thought,
that's what you thought. That's what you thought. I mean, but come
mhm,
on, like, okay, first off, you had the new wave music playing in the background, like, I'm like, take me back to my
mhm,
house days, right? Still love that
right.
house, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like, and then you like had like all these different scenes, especially the chick was swinging from lightning.
Right.
I'm gonna say it one more time. The chick was swinging from lightning.
Hmm.
I was like,
Hmm.
yes.
Yeah. Then when you see the movie, you say, "Where did the storm come from?"
What?
But
Oh my God. Okay, so I think that the best way to approach 1984 is just kind of, I mean, like by this time, like, everybody pretty much have seen it, like, or subjected
right.
themselves to see it. So, like, we ain't got to necessarily worry about, and there's so many different,
So
um,
those that are worried about spoilers, don't watch this.
right, exactly. I mean, like, I ain't seen it yet. I'm like, dude, this came out last year. No, you seen it already. If you ain't seen it out, just stop this video now, go watch it, and then come back. Okay, anyway. So, all right. So let's talk. First off, I want to kind of get into, because like, okay, before I get into everything wrong, 'cause there was a lot. Can we pick out maybe one or two things that you thought was right with the movie?
Well, the fact that she was swinging from the lightning, that was good. The fact that they, she was allowed to fly in the movie.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, those were like two of the things. Uh, I like the truck scene actually when they had the trucks
Yeah.
when she
Yeah.
kinda lost her powers a little bit. She wasn't as Wonder Woman would be in her normal state, but I
Mhm.
like the truck chasing scenes when they were
Right.
battling in between that. I
Yeah.
think that was it. It may have been some more in there that I may have liked and just didn't notice it because those scenes were so far and in between.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think that was the biggest thing is that's why I wasn't really impressed with the movie because everything that took place that possibly could have been good was really in the preview, but it was so far and in between everything that took place in the whole movie.
Yeah, and the way that it happened just made no sense. I mean,
You know,
okay, so let's talk about a few things that was like what I call my what moments. So okay, so like we know that like in the beginning, well first like I did like the first two scenes of the movie, like when she was like when she was a kid, she was competing in some type of Olympic type thing, and and remember like she discovered a way when she got hit and got knocked off her horse where she can actually do a shortcut so she can get back in the race and get ahead of everybody. And then the general, I cannot think of her name right now. I want to call Persephone.
general.
Persephone, yeah, the general. Stopped her and said, "No, you didn't win." And she said because you cheated. And then Hippolyta had to explain to her, you know, um, why it was that she did not win, and there's going to be some times in her life where she's going to have to make like tough decisions, not to take the shortcuts in life, which I felt
Mhm.
was a good um a good motherly advice or motherly moment to her. And it's something that I believe that the movie was trying to revisit but didn't quite really get there.
Right.
um and I think that I've listened to other critics talk about this particular movie, and a lot of them all say that the issue was the script. And I mean, like, okay, So we know that like there was this like amethyst stone or what have you, or amethyst or
Yeah.
citrine type stone that they use in order for that people could make a wish, and all of a sudden they get what they want, right? And
Mhm.
and so like so villain one that came in was Christian Wiig's character, which was Cheetah. At first she wished that she wanted to be more Diana because she said she's beautiful and she's confident. And since she was like a bumbling nerd, which that bumbling nerd character seems to happen a lot. She wanted to be more confident
Yeah.
and actually be able to walk in heels and stuff. And then all of a sudden she's doing that. And it seemed like that every time that after she made her wish, the majority of, except for that one scene where she was running at night, that you saw Christian Wiig's character always in heels, walking like as fierce as possible. Like just to like drive this point home that
Right.
hey, she can walk in heels. Ain't that amazing? And
Mhm. Just
and
be
then
more
like
confident.
right, and I'm and I was like, okay, great, you can walk in heels, that's great. And then of course like Pablo Pascal's character Maxwell Lord, like he was like this defunct oil tycoon who also went around with motivational speeches, which was very big in the 80s, as you and I both know. So
Mhm.
I thought that that was a pretty cool nostalgia point where he was like almost tele-evangelizing, almost Les Brown type of thing going into one. And then but he was like finding this stone because like he wanted to use it in order to kind of save his business because he was just scamming other people out of money to keep his
Mhm.
this whole business tycoon thing going. And also he had a son that all his son really wanted to do was to spend time with the dad, but the dad was just so
That was it.
obsessed. Yeah,
Mhm.
he
With
was.
power.
Say that again.
He was just obsessed with power, and like you said, saving his business. That was basically all his concern was. It wasn't anything else. He
Right.
totally forgot about his son, but yet still, he still had, love for his son, but he
Yeah.
just didn't know. He was just more concentrated on. He felt that he could impress his son by doing certain different things, but he
Hmm.
found out that wasn't the way to go.
Right. And I think that like I kind of see like with all these particular themes that the movie was trying to do, these are the different messages that it was trying to portray, but it just didn't work. And like and I was telling you before we started to record this, is like I wasn't too familiar with the Maxwell Lord character, but he has shown up several times in the DC universe. First in Justice League back in the 80s, where he was considered the person that actually put together the Justice League International. And he played a guy who behind the scenes, like even that was like the mover and the shaker, and really kind of like the glue of the team. But at the beginning, like you really couldn't tell if he was a good guy or a not so good guy, right?
Mhm.
And then like and his character went through a lot of different reiterations. But one of the things that I read about Maxwell Lord, and if I had my opportunity, if I did this movie, I would have took it from the angle of I want to say like I think this was from the Infinite Crisis series
Mhm.
where Maxwell Lloyd Maxwell Lord ended up
Mhm.
becoming a metahuman, and he had powers that he can manipulate and take over people's minds. And when
That's
he did,
basically
I'm sorry?
that's basically it. Mhm.
Yeah. And then he took over the mind of Superman. And when he took over the mind of Superman, Superman was going all berserk and shit. And then
Mhm.
like Wonder Woman got involved, and then like she was fighting Superman because like she's like one of the only other DC characters that can actually like go to toe with
Go ahead
Superman.
ahead. Right.
Right, right. And then so like what she ended up having to do was take her tiara and kind of like cut Superman's throat in order to kind of get him to stand down without killing him, of course. And then
Mhm.
she ended up like grabbing Maxwell's character and wrapping him with the lasso of truth. And she asked him, he basically revealed to her that I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep on doing this. And so she asked him,
Mhm.
what can happen to stop you? And she said, kill me. And so she did. She killed him, you know.
Mhm.
And but if we fast forward through this movie, after like he absorbs the stone and he now has like the granting of the wishes, and to the point where he even finds this whole satellite system so that he can talk to the entire world to make them make wishes so that he can absorb their
Right.
wishes and then turn around and do something.
Mhm.
It was so convoluted. And then
Yeah.
so and then of course at the end, Diana was like, oh well, I'm going to make this really great speech about wanting to give up stuff and and you got
Right.
to let stuff go. And he said, well, why would I do that? She said, I wasn't talking to you, I was talking. And then that's when she saw like the lasso of truth was around his ankle. And then, that kind of just made everybody all of a sudden to say, hey, yeah, no, we don't want these wishes anymore, we're just going to give them up. And I don't know, like I felt
I
like
felt
that
with
that
I felt with Maxwell Lord. I think they just added too many versions of Maxwell Lord into this Wonder Woman movie, and really they
yeah,
shouldn't have done that. They should have just kept it just one way
right.
and left it at that. Because they had to introduce Cheetah, but then they
Right.
had Cheetah going through different
Well, and
characters or whatever
and can
before
we
she
talk
became
about
Cheetah.
a little bit about Cheetah? Okay, so from what I've read about Cheetah's character in the comics is that she I want to say that she was like an archaeologist. Wasn't she like an
Yeah.
archaeologist? And
Yes.
so in one of her digs, she ended up finding this like rare dagger that she got cut with, and that's what turned her into Cheetah. This time in the movie,
Yeah, she got her.
she wished that first she wished that she was like Diana, so she ended up
Yeah.
getting Diana's powers. And then next
Mhm.
thing, she was on the plane talking about, well, I don't want to be that no more, I want to be a predator. And the next thing, she turns into this
Right.
cat lady. And I was
Yeah.
just like,
She.
really? And then like and one of the other things that I also felt like, when you saw, like, remember like in the trailer you saw like Gal Gadot in the golden the golden, like,
Golden wingsuit.
say it again.
Talk about her golden wingsuit.
Yeah, when she was in her golden wingsuit, that was like a homage to, like, one of the greatest Amazon warriors. Which she's like, yeah, I found it one day, and so I decided to put it on.
Right. It's like, where did it
And
come from?
I mean, like, it really didn't give like a chance to like really give like a pure
The
motivating factor
background.
of, right, why this thing would be and the same thing happened with, when they finally had like an invisible jet. Like, she was playing around with manipulating magnetic fields, and then all of a sudden, like, she expanded it so that, like, now that her jet is invisible, which happened in the DC verse never. And
Right. Well,
and yeah.
that wasn't her. One of my issues with that scene, that wasn't even her plane, was it?
Mm. No, it was a plane that they stole. Like,
Well, she
yeah,
wouldn't have never done that anyway. She wouldn't have been able to do that.
no, and
Yeah.
especially like, one of the motivating factors about Wonder Woman was always about this good and pure character who was always motivated by justice. So
You gotta
even
think. Remember, she was under that influence, under that power stone. I mean, that of him going into Infinity Stones, but
wrong universe.
right,
Right.
he was under that wish, whatever that was that Maxwell Lord had absorbed.
Yeah,
She was
the
under
wishing
that
stone.
power,
Well,
so
yeah.
all she was concerned about was her I forget the guy's name that was her boyfriend or whatever, her
Steve,
lover in the previous.
Yeah, Stephen Trevor.
Yeah, Stephen Trevor. All she was thinking about was him, the guy who appeared back to her in somebody else's body.
That's
You
crazy
know,
too. Like,
she, it's like, how did you? Wait a minute. This is the person you're looking at, but you're not looking at who you actually fell in love with
right.
80 years ago.
Right. I mean, and I mean, and first off, and here's another thing about like when he comes back in another guy's body, like, did this guy have a job? Did he have family? Wouldn't you think that like somebody would be
Right.
missing him? I mean, like, you know,
Yeah.
it was just so random. Like,
Somebody seen him on the street. Why is he walking with that lady there?
right. Exactly. And then they bring him back at the end like, you know, oh yeah, we're just you know, hey, isn't it snow great? She's like, yeah, it's great. You know, I mean, like, it was just so weird. I mean, like, and just even bringing him back with a wish. I mean, like, even if you were going to bring him back with a wish, right? He just,
Mhm.
I mean, could he not just materialize instead of like all of a sudden being in
Yeah,
some guy's body that, you know, you did not give him consent, and then next thing you know they doing the nasty? I mean, come on
right.
now.
He could have
It,
came back in his own body if that was. That's what they should have did, but they actually did it by having us see it on screen. But we already knew that he was in someone else's body. But it didn't make sense to have him on the screen if he's
mhm,
playing in somebody else's body. It
exactly.
just didn't make sense. So I felt that he should have came back as himself if that was going to be the role that he
Mhm.
was playing.
Right.
And then, nobody really would have known who he was, 80 years later.
Right. Right. And I mean, actually, I would have really appreciated because like, you know, last time we saw Steve, he was like flying into,
Mhm,
you know, the
mhm,
atmosphere. He disappeared, right?
right,
And we didn't know if like he was dead, if he was alive. He
mhm.
even said that he was just like in an area where he just didn't know, and the next thing,
Next space, right.
right. And I mean, but to me, so to me it would have just made more sense, like just have him come back maybe in the plane and he still got his like old like World War I clothes on. Like, I don't know, that would have made more sense to me. But unfortunately, this whole movie just did not make sense. I mean, even with her, even like I liked the sequence where she was flying, and I liked that she was like even on lightning, but it had no motivation factor. It was just there. It was like, hey,
Yeah,
isn't it cool that Wonder Woman can fly? Ain't it cool that she rides lightning? Okay, now we
yeah.
here. We on the island and we got to fight Maxwell Lord and Cheetah. Like,
Mhm.
really? It was so disappointing. I'm hoping that, and I know that they're going to be planning on doing more movies, and I just
Yeah, they have a number three in store. It was so bad that they decided to make a number three. That's
well,
how
I
they do it.
Man, well, yeah. Well, I'm hoping that, you know, when three comes around, that we could actually get like a Wonder Woman that is deserving of the sequel that it should have from the first one. And because like the first one, out of all the recent DC movies, live action movies, I felt that that was the one of the best ones.
Yeah, it
A-
was. I
And
felt I felt
yeah.
like how I was telling you earlier. I wasn't sold on Gal Gadot being Wonder Woman in the first movie.
Mhm.
After watching the second one, I see why I wasn't sold on her because there was too much of her in this movie and not enough Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, I was expecting, especially since we got a chance to really see a character arc develop from the first
Mhm.
one, that we would get way more Wonder Woman, and we got more Diana. But
Right.
and I wasn't too mad at that, but it had to make sense, right? Like,
Mhm.
if we're going to get more Diana, we need to have um a more continuous storyline, and to really, you know, support Diana being there in these particular, you know,
Mhm.
scenes. And I mean, that would have been for anybody. And I really wish this, and I keep on begging. I don't know who I need to like write at the DC live action film with Warner Brother people. If you just pay attention to your animated films and stick to that formula, I don't see you going wrong.
No, they're not going to do that. You know, they've gotten so bad, you know, with the live action thing. First they started pretty good with the CW shows that they do on CW.
Hmm.
But even those are starting to go way off somewhere. You
But it's
know,
CW, Andre. I mean, it's kind of
yeah,
like it, and I mean like, and I would love to talk about, and I know we can do this in a future show. I want to talk about the last season of Black Lightning. And
the one that's on now or the one that's just went off
I'm
because the
sorry.
one that's on now is terrible. So
Oh no. Well, no, last season, not this one. The last season, the
okay,
season before this one. I haven't seen the most recent season. Um,
okay.
and if it's, oh gosh, because like the last season was, I felt like, with even the bringing back of the albino man,
Well,
and
twice.
even, yeah, and I felt that particular season was pretty good. I can't really speak to this one, so we're gonna have to watch it, and then we'll give our thoughts. But yeah, well, one of the last things that I would say about this particular woman, Wonder Woman, the last thing I did appreciate was seeing the Wonder Woman I remember growing up.
Yeah, she's coming in as another character though.
She did, and she was like, "Well, I've been doing this for a long time," and I was
Right.
like, "Yes, you have." And matter of fact,
Mhm.
how you looking that way, I think you're a vampire. But that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, she's coming back.
She is coming back. And just to give a
Mm.
ode to that, I just wanted to play a little something from my childhood. If you would just indulge me. Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. All the world is waiting for you and the wonders that you do. In your satin tights, fighting for our rights, and the old red, white, and blue. Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. All of us are counting on you and the power you possess, putting all your might on the side of right and our courage to the test. Wonder Woman, get us out from under. Wonder Woman, here to fight the force of evil, and your chance won't be denied. Woman of the hour, with your superpower, we're so glad you're on our side. Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman, you're Wonder Woman. Every time I see that, I just can't help
Yeah,
but
can't
smile.
help it. Yeah, that's the real Wonder Woman right there.
That's always gonna be my Wonder Woman. I wanted
Yeah,
to be the
I think
car
that's gonna
so
be
bad.
everybody's Wonder Woman, including the millennials.
I know, y'all. Just to check out the. I mean, it was kind of cheesy. It was campy, but I loved every minute of it.
I think we all did.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Well, we've been going on for a minute, Andre. What's your last
Yep.
thoughts about these movies?
Well, I'm looking forward to I can't say I'm looking forward to Wonder Woman 3, but I have to say I have to look forward to it because I'm sure that the feedback that the director had gotten from it has been so bad that she's like, I'm going to take this to a whole nother level, take it kind of back to the first one without adding scenes in the like I did in the second one. Because in Wonder Woman, the first one, meant the second one, WW84, the scene where she was a child, they actually could have put that in the first Wonder Woman,
They could have, and it
and
totally would have
you know,
worked.
it would have worked that way, but they didn't do that. But I'm sure that the person's going to look at, the pros and cons and get all them cons together and take Wonder Woman to a whole nother level.
Hmm.
Uh, DC Universe, I think they have a lot to work on as it relates to their live action movies.
Yeah.
I don't know what direction they're trying to go in. They've tried several different directions, and it seems like none of them are working, but they are working as far as the animated series. And I
Yes.
feel that CW series have been working as well.
Hmm.
And just recently, some of the series has been getting convoluted or becoming weaker. I haven't really watched Batwoman except the one episode, and there's certain things I'm wondering about that. But we can talk about that on another episode of
Yes.
Chronicles of the Revolutionary Nerd.
Yes.
But I feel that they really need to do a lot as far as their live action movies.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, like, I, I'm just hoping that, because like I said, there's been a lot of content. That's the cool thing about like YouTube, that there's a lot of content, some good, some bad, that's out there, that I think that uh directors, writers, producers, executive producers can go to actually get notes from. Like, what did we get right? What did we not get right? And from even the different things that I have read online, concerning DC, specifically DC's live action films versus their animated films, is that a lot of their animated films are fire. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, to be honest, like, even like as of late, and I think that the weaker one may have been Batman's the Killing Joke. I think that
Right.
was like a weaker one. I still liked it, even
Hmm.
though like it was like one of the weaker ones out of the animated films. So obviously the animated films division is doing something right, that the live action films need to learn from. And I think a lot of it has to do with their scripts, and making sure that their pacing is together, and making and also make the stories make sense. Like,
Yeah.
that there should be reasons behind why a character is doing what they're doing. What is their motivation? What is going on around them that will cause them to do this? So, that is just my wish for any of these. We once the third
Yeah.
one come out, we shall see.
Yeah. You're right.
We shall see. But yeah.
Obviously, with that being said, we're going to have a lot to talk about in the near future. As
Yeah.
you can see, we went from radio to YouTube. Chronicles of the Revolutionary Nerd coming to you live. That's what
Yes.
we do.
That's what we do.
So,
Yes.
needless to say, I'm looking forward to building up a couple of episodes, a couple of shows, and we're going to do some live streams as well.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, we are.
I'm looking forward to Motor City Black Age of Comics itself, as far as the Black Age of Comics. I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to that con.
Yes, I agree. And I mean, and as the days approach, and depending on how the numbers are looking, hopefully we can go back live and have people there. And of course, we will be shouting that out as well. The Motor City Black Age of Comics is an experience that I believe that anybody and everybody would enjoy and need to have in their life. Put it on your bucket list. How about that?
Mhm.
And but until then, like, everyone, first off, thank you for tuning in to our inaugural reboot of the Chronicles of the Revolutionary Nerd with your host Cynthia McDonald and
Andre Bat.
yes. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, please hit the bell so that every time that we upload a video or go live, you will get notification that we do. And also, please leave a comment. Tell us what you like about the show, what you don't like, stuff that you would love to have, give your suggestions on things that you want us to talk about in the future. Be it in the comic area, be it in the movie area, be it in the science fiction area, et al., or none of the above. Let us know. So follow this. And we will catch you all next go round. Peace.
Peace, family.